A1A fam, welcome back to another episode of A1A Adventures. If you're into turtles, especially, or specifically red-eared sliders, today is going to be an awesome adventure that you'll probably enjoy. Because we have eggs. One of our friend's turtles actually laid eggs. Now, it did breed with another male, however, they weren't interested in taking the eggs, they didn't want to raise them whatsoever. So, with our previous reptile experience we've had for many years, so coming from our previous endeavors and years of reptile breeding of bearded dragons and ball pythons, we have a lot of experience. However, these are aquatic turtles. I've had many aquatic turtles, from mata mata to stinkpot musks to red-eared sliders, yellow belly sliders, painted sliders before. However, I've never hatched the eggs. Now, in addition to bearded dragons and other reptiles, it's not too far off. It's simply the same humidity. However, just the hatching process and period can be a little bit extended and vary from species to species of reptiles. Now, this is where we're at today. Now, one of the first things upon protocol when you have an egg is always to candle it, and that's going to see and determine the fertility if there's an egg yolk on the inside. Now, these happen to not be as convincing as I really thought they would be, because they're only a couple days old. They didn't have any way to incubate them. They had to dig them out of the lay bin that their turtle was laying in. So looking at it, I mean, it doesn't seem to have too much of an embryo or a yolk on the inside, as well as you're looking for veins. So this may not be as promising as we think it will be, but however, this will be a fun experience and an awesome adventure that you guys can come along with us to see if these eggs are going to be fertile or not fertile. And these are aquatic turtles, red-eared sliders to be specific, so let's hope for the best, because if so, we're looking at 8 baby turtles potentially if these hatch. Now, the substrate that we are using is perlite. We typically would use vermiculite and perlite, a 50-50 mixture with a little bit of water, of course, and an egg crate on the bottom, as we have put together here exactly that way, minus the vermiculite. And one tool that I refuse to get rid of, because you never know, because we still have animals, however, we weren't planning on having eggs, was the incubator. We do have an incubator. It's a simple incubator. It's a hovabator to be exact. Now, there are so many different incubators on the market. We used to have a hot box incubator, which is more of a digital incubator, which is a sealed, closed box, which is basically like a little mini fridge. This one we have now is on the market. Anyone can get it. It's great for chicken eggs. It's great to hatch duck eggs. Any simple eggs you can hatch from it. It's not digitally controlled. It's actually more observed through a knob, and you have to use a thermometer in order to maintain that temperature, but we got this. As long as these babies are fertile. So let's get this baby. Let's see, this is the first time I'm actually opening this. For a long time, it's still left pretty much, I guess, the way I had it. Now, it's simple components. You have your heating here, and you have your knob, which needs to be, hopefully it's exactly where I left it, probably at 85 degrees more or less, because 80 to 85 degrees is where we hatched bearded dragon eggs, and you can determine their sex, their gender, based on the temperature in which you incubate them at. You can kind of control the gender ratio, which is really cool. Now, you know, this is all just kind of whatever. Now, on the bottom is a really cool reservoir. You can kind of control, or if you have it, for water. And that's extra water in addition to the water that you add to your eggs. Some people like to put peat moss or a little bit of moss on top to just control, as if you put a top on here, it will definitely cause humidity to gather on this lid, and that can cause droplets to accumulate and almost drown the eggs, which we are definitely going to avoid. So we're going to go ahead and put some holes on the top of this to allow the humidity to breathe and not gather on the top of the lid. Did that really fast and messy, but that's perfect. That's all you need. It's just a little bit of escape area for the moisture to escape, not to accumulate. That's the key. Or if you didn't want to put holes in the top, you can always leave it kind of half on and half off. Anything is better than just leaving it open. And even if you do decide to leave it open, you could just keep this top on, and of course, you can control the escape of the humidity on the hovabator by removing these plugs or just keeping them shut. Even here, it has several holes, which I've always taped up, and I've always kept it that way. Let's plug it in and let it warm up. Okay, so the temperature has been stabilizing pretty well. And let's see. So we filled up this side and that side with 2 different Tupperwares that have some water in it, so you don't have to oversaturate all of your substrate, your vermiculite or your perlite, whatever you choose to use, so it doesn't drown the eggs. They'll obtain the moisture, both from surrounding areas with water. Once again, you could have filled these little reservoirs up underneath, however, I just chose to use the Tupperwares. Reminder, this is a very simple basic 101 tutorial on a very simple incubation setup. This is not 100% the most effective incubator. I've used way better incubators than this. This is very simple. The heat distribution, even myself, there's always been a lot of controversy as the even amount of distribution as it's circulating. They do sell upgrade systems for this particular incubator that has a fan, which all of my other incubators always had a fan circulating all of the air evenly throughout the entire incubator. This one is just going to remain stagnant as a experimental project, as we don't even know if these eggs are fertile 100% or not. We're just going to have to see. Based on their coloration, I mean, they look somewhat promising. They do have some pink in them, which is good. The yellow is always concerning. The level of deflation isn't as concerning because the level of deflation, they will inflate back up now that they're exposed to a lot more moisture and humidity. Only time will tell. So on this adventure, stay tuned. Make sure you turn your notifications on. Hit that notification bell so when we do post a new video or an update on these eggs, you guys will see it. So thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this video before you go. It helps the algorithm out a lot. And as always, stay adventurous. And until the next one, A1A Adventures.